And joining me now is Jennifer Iduh, who is the head of research at the European Travel Commission, which is based in Brussels, and Bulut Bagci, who is the president of the World Tourism Forum, based here in Istanbul. Jennifer, Bulut, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you here. So as we just mentioned in the package, we saw about 25 million tourists visiting Turkey only in the first 7 months of this year. So Bulut, what does this current trend tell us about Turkey's tourism sector in the future?
So first of all, thank you very much for hosting us, because it's very important, especially in the tourism industry in Turkey. I'm pronouncing like the petroleum. Tourism is like the petroleum of Turkey. So there is no other industry that creating like huge revenue in the country. So it's very important for us, and the government knows that, and all the shareholders of the government knows that. It's very important for us. So now, as we see on the numbers, the Turkey now catch the numbers of the 2014. So you know that after the 2015, there is a dramatically, a down of the numbers because of the some.
We're going to get back.
So it's very hard position, especially in the people in the tourism industry. Now we are getting numbers more. So what we can say, especially the numbers in the world, the lady knows more than good me, but the thing is, the most important thing is, especially the numbers in the world now get 5% increase. So it means now we are getting the numbers, recovering the numbers. So now we have especially homeworks to do lots of, especially in Turkey.
I'm going to ask you about the homeworks.
Yeah.
So Jennifer, I mean, Turkey saw strings of terror attacks between 2014 and 17, and also we have witnessed this coup attempt, and those all dealt a heavy blow to the Turkish tourism. But how do you think Turkey managed to recover from this bumpy period, and why do you think Turkey is still preferred by the Europeans the most?
I mean, Turkey at the moment is, I would say, back on track. We all witnessed how there were two main difficult periods, and if I had to mention two main things that helped Turkey recover its tourism, I would say affordability and improved perceptions. So the destination has made significant efforts to have a different view towards travelers from international travelers. And this is what we're seeing, and we will continue to see travelers from within Europe coming to Turkey, especially some of the largest ones. So we're talking about the UK or France, Italy, or even Germany. And we already witnessed last year how the flow of Chinese travelers came to a massive flow where visited Turkey. This was because of the Turkey-China tourism year, and in this sense, we're also very confident that we will see a similar performance with the Turkey-Russia tourism year.
Yeah, when you compare, of course, China's population with the number of tourists visiting Turkey, it's not enough. Maybe a homework for you.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Tell me about this. I mean, despite the riches it offers, Turkey is not receiving tourists from Far East Asia.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
So actually, the thing is, as a World Tourism Forum, so we are visiting lots of countries. The last month I was in Pakistan with the PM of the Pakistan, Imran Khan, and before Ethiopia, Angola, all the region that we are traveling that. So the most important thing is, that there is a requirement that the tourists have to come to country. So one is the hotels, the airline companies, and the under construction of the cities, and the construction of the cities. And also the most important thing that we see that security. If there is security, the tourists come. Without any infrastructure, the tourists will come and continue to come.
Sure.
If everything is done, but there is no security, the tourists will be cut. So it's very important. What happened, the previous question that you asked, what happened between 2017 and the 19, in the country, the stability of the security
was renewed. Yes, of course, sure. Jennifer, you talk about a new type of consumers. What are they like? What are their priorities?
So we have now in front of us a consumer or a traveler that has absolutely nothing to do with what we knew 10 years ago, and it will drastically change in the next 10 years to come. So this new traveler is more tech savvy, and they're more experience driven and more knowledgeable. So enabling technologies has actually given them the entire power to take control of their travel journey. So from the very beginning to the end of the travel, of the path to purchase. These travelers are ditching main tourism spots now to go off the beaten track, to go to the unexplored and to where not many people have been already. And this is actually becoming the new normal. And they want to be the first ones to share it on social media and the first ones to influence their friends and families. So this is the new type of consumer.
So where Turkey stands in this new
Turkey
trend?
is in a very good position in this sense, because travelers are no longer looking for the typical sun and beach
Beaches,
holidays
yeah,
that they
sure.
can find in many destinations in Europe. But as I mentioned earlier, affordability is one of the key strengths of Turkey in this case, with the weaker Turkish lira. And on top of this, there are many regions that are still unexplored and that have a huge potential to attract many travelers from all around the world.
And then comes this sustainable tourism. Could you briefly tell us how sustainable tourism is different than classic tourism, and also where Turkey stands at this sustainable tourism? And maybe, Bulut, you can also add something to that too.
So the sustainable tourism, we can give the good example from Spain. Because when we talk with the minister of Spain, the first, okay, we are going to organize world tourism, but the first question came to me, okay, but we don't need tourists. So how we can operate the tourist who is coming to country, how they cannot damage the products? Because these are the cultural and historical products. Sure. So they don't have to damage the products. So the most important thing that Turkey will face in next years, the destroy of the tourism.
Yes.
Because
do you have plans to counteract this?
So actually, it's very important, because we are presenting the reports to all the shareholders in the government. But the most important thing is, it's very important, especially all the coastal areas. It's very important because when you are building a new construction, it's creating a huge damage in the environment.
Yeah, sure. Jennifer, so what are the dangers before this sustainable tourism? Is it achieved?
There are many plans, so sustainability has become right now a top priority for many destinations. Everybody wants to implement sustainable tourism practices and promote sustainable destinations. We also have travelers that are more conscious about sustainability issues and climate change. And the most important thing here is how to close the gap between what our objectives are, where we want to be in terms of sustainability, and the reality, exactly, and what destinations are actually doing to address climate change, for example, and be at the top of all sustainability-related issues.
Yeah, okay. So I think we're out of time. Jennifer, Bulut, thank you very much for joining me on Straight Talk. I appreciate it a lot.